Welcome to Horror on the Rocks on RUE MORGUE TV. I'm Mike. You might know me from Whiskey Morgue, where I pair what I'm drinking with the horror movies that I'm watching. Today, I'm pairing some killer drinks with some of my favorite movies about killer machines. So, pour a drink and let's dive into some mechanical mayhem. In at number 5 is Chopping Mall.
Kill bots.
Chopping Mall immerses us in what is the pinnacle of 80s consumerism and culture. The mall is a place to shop the newest trends, hang out with friends, or grab a slice of pizza with a date. Or in the case of Chopping Mall, hang out after close, hook up, smoke weed, get drunk, and take on some killer security robots.
Oh, as a new security system, completely mobile, user-friendly, and absolutely fail-safe. But something is going wrong.
Those hallways of terracotta tile and red carpet were filled with endless possibilities, and a lot of cigarette smoke. Overall, Chopping Mall is good old-fashioned 80s B-movie fun. It delivers with the humor, a ton of great kills, and of course, Barbara Crampton. So I am pairing this with Knob Creek's On the Rocks Old Fashioned. In the 80s, Jim Beam, who's behind the brand Knob Creek, were very in tune with 80s consumerism and culture as well, so much to create the first ready-to-drink cocktail. This might not be in a can, but it's absolutely delicious and shows the kind of quality and convenience you can get in such a small bottle. If you tasted it, you'd probably think it's something that you got at a bar that was handcrafted. What I like most about it is that there's really quality ingredients, they're transparent on the label, and it makes for like a really smooth and balanced old-fashioned cocktail. I love that they're transparent in their ingredients, unlike some other ready-to-drink cocktails out there. Or like having a movie poster using the word chopping and having severed limbs when indeed there's no chopping of limbs at all. Thank you. Have a nice day. In at number 4 is Willys Wonderland.
I can't stand to hear a grown man scream.
Now, Willys Wonderland dug up a whole bunch of repressed memories from my 5th birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. The premise of animatronics coming to life and trying to kill you, that's gold. But add Nicolas Cage to the mix, and you're taking things to a whole other level. At this point in his career, I feel like Nick Cage is trying to out-Nick Cage himself, and I am absolutely here for it. As ridiculous as the movie is, it's a testament to Nick Cage's acting. He doesn't say a word the entire time, yet is able to make playing pinball, drinking energy drinks, and kicking animatronic ass so entertaining. Plus, he gets the job done in just one night instead of 5, and even takes out the garbage.
You're here to be a human sacrifice. Have you been listening to a word I've been saying?
For this one, I'm pairing Tito's vodka and an espresso martini. Now I get it. I could have been really on the nose and used kind of like a mixed drink with an energy drink as a main component, but I don't want to be responsible for you punching holes in your drywall. Instead, I've gone with the espresso martini, so you still get that rush of caffeine and can also make sure that the party never ends. So in terms of recipe, super basic. I've gone with Tito's vodka, but you could really use anything. What's really important is coffee. I'm going with Deadly Grounds, the espresso cyst, which is excellent, but don't use shit coffee, please. And then you're adding another ounce of just a coffee liqueur. You get your espresso martini. This martini right here is a fistful of flavor for your kisser. Cheers.
It's birthday time!
In at number 3 is Terminator.
Cyborgs don't feel pain. I do. Don't do that again.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is Terminator making this horror list? But hear me out for a second. James Cameron said that this idea was born out of a dream he had where there was this metal skeleton figure emerging from the flames and holding a knife in its hand. And I don't know, but to me, that sounds pretty fucking horrifying.
This weapon will be called the Terminator.
Even though it's categorized as science fiction, really look at it. It was given the 80s B-horror movie treatment and even uses a lot of the tropes. At one point, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger as this killer monster figure chasing the final girl, lead girl. I don't know, this is a little bit reminiscent of Halloween, except if Michael Myers was a robot with a chiseled physique and the will to run.
I'm here to help you. I'm Reese, DN 38416, assigned to protect you.
I am pairing this with Drink Monday's non-alcoholic whiskey. You heard me right, non-alcoholic, because the husband and wife duo behind the brand wanted to create something that was still delicious, but could be for someone who doesn't want to drink or wants to reduce their drinking. And what I respect is they got a really reputable bourbon maker to use the technology that was used for traditional bourbon making and make a non-alcoholic version. So I wouldn't necessarily sip this on its own like I would other whiskeys, but it does hold up really well in a mocktail. For this, I've gone with what I'm gonna call a No Judgment Day whiskey sour, where I'm using our non-alcoholic whiskey, a couple of ounces of lemon juice, as well as a simple syrup, and of course, Sarah Connor's favorite drink, Canada Dry Club Soda. Overall, horror is a unique experience. Does it feel like horror? Then it is. Does this taste like a cocktail? Then it's a fucking cocktail.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator.
In at number 2 is Deadly Friend.
You're so cute.
Deadly Friend was my favorite video to watch out of the unreturned stack of VHS rentals in my parents' basement growing up. It always felt like a different horror movie to me, and it actually didn't feel much like horror at all for a lot of it. I was more invested in the story about friendship, the use of technology, love, and loss. To be honest, I wanted my own companion robot, BB, to help me with chores or put a vice grip on the testicles of bullies.
Hi.
The handful of violent scenes feel a bit shoehorned in there, and the dream sequences feel like a little bit of a stretch for A Nightmare on Elm Street. The more I return to this film, the more I have a greater appreciation for the darker love story that it was meant to be, Wes Craven's prophetic cautionary tale about the use of artificial intelligence. Funny thing is, the scariest people in the movie are humans.
Get out of my house!
I am pairing this with Nikka's Coffee Grain Whiskey, and this is also a story that's rooted in love and technology. Masataka went over to Scotland to apprentice. This is where he met the love of his life, learned a bit about whiskey, and decided to bring it back to Japan. Now, when we talk about coffee, we're not talking about the goth water that I drink to stay awake. It's actually a still that's used to make the whiskey, and the couple took this Scottish distilling technology and basically transplanted it in Japan. I've used this one for a classic Japanese cocktail, the Old Fashioned. The Nikka really lends in terms of like the citrus notes, the toffee, there's a little bit of like sweet oak from the bourbon, but I warn you, be careful. This goes down real easy, and next thing you know, you're gonna have a highball going straight to your head.
Hey, girl. She's killing people. Mom?
In at number 1 is Christine.
She is pure evil.
So when making the movie, John Carpenter was arguably more obsessed with the 1958 Plymouth Fury than Arnie Cunningham. So much so that he opted to have 20 different versions of the car instead of paying for famous actors.
Her name's Christine.
I like that.
His obsession with having different versions of the car for different reasons and finishes, in conjunction with the Panaglide camera that he made famous in Halloween, really brought this killing machine to life. So for this one, I'm pairing it with Starlight's Barrel Aged Gin. Now, I get it, and I get this obsession. People come over to my house and they wonder, Mike, why do you have 20 different bottles from Starlight? And I explain to them, they're all a different finish and they all have their different purpose. So for instance, this is my port finish, this is my cognac finish, this is my maple finish, this is my honey finish. They're all very important. But today, to diversify things, I am going with this, the gin barrel aged finish. To diversify things, I'm going with what I call a Fury engine smash, because I love dad jokes and inserting the gin in engine.
Talking about Christine, man!
What I did was I took 2 ounces of gin, a little bit of lemon juice, and some lemon simple syrup, muddled some basil leaf in there as well, and shook it all up. Now, I would have had this in a regular glass, but thank you, Andrea, for this chalice. And on that note, cheers, a death to all the shitters.
Christine. Body by Plymouth. Soul by Satan.
Movies about killer machines tap into our anxieties about losing control over our creations. Will they destroy us? Take over? Fuck it, I'm throwing out my Roomba. That's it for this episode of Horror on the Rocks on RUE MORGUE TV. Again, I'm Mike from Whiskey Morgue. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you're watching. Let me know what you're drinking. And as always, stay spooky and let the blood and booze flow. Cheers.